Hello and welcome to this edition of The Bomb Show. I'm Wendy and this is Jason.
That's what it is.
This is our 5th review of our 12 reviews of Christmas, so almost halfway through. So thanks for tuning in. And before we begin, once again, we're going to remind you, get your votes in for the awards show. Get the categories are in the description as they have been on all of these videos. But get your votes in any way that you can, even on the telephone. We just want to hear who you guys think should win for each of the categories, or as many of the categories as you can pick a decisive winner. Right. But for this edition, we have the Hot Toys MMS 212 Mark 17 Heartbreaker. So, for the box, it is a regular shoebox style box with the Heartbreaker graphic on the front, all of the necessary manufacturing info on the back with kind of a gold computer kind of pattern. Pretty decent.
Nice photos. All the bull scripts is kept to a minimum, hidden around.
Yeah.
You know, and inside, of course, there's, you know, nice multiple layers of. That's one thing with these Iron Man figures. They've always given really nice, thick clamshell housing inside, and that's good because these are some of their most fragile pieces. So it's a good thing that they give all that extra protection. But break it down. What do you think?
Excuse me. First impression on this guy is really just how different he looks from any of the other releases of Iron Man suits. Yeah. So there's quite a few things that really set him apart. The detailing, of course, as with Hot Toys' usual way of doing things, the details are really nice. And you would think because he's kind of bulky that that might affect some of the details and articulation, but Jason will get into that he's still really good in that department. Big thing that stands out, the arc reactor is a larger size. He also has some additional lights on the chest that you don't normally see on pretty much any of the other
you got some
Iron
illumination
Mans.
over around the ribs, as you can see on the side of the figure when his chest is lit up. There are some sections that are illuminated. And what's up? Oh, is he? Simon!
If you're hearing
Alright, but
a little bit of snoring, that was Simon.
Buddy, you're falling asleep. He's sleeping out down in front of the cameras. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to wake you up, but you're blowing.
You'll probably hear it again in a minute, but
well, let me do articulation first then. Okay, so this guy's one of the bulkier Iron Man suits, and there's a lot of just loads of cool detail on this. I mean, the mechanics on this, and just all the detail, all the mechanical stuff going on this guy. He looks very, very, very different from any of the other Iron Man suits. If I had to put him, he's probably closer looking to the Red Snapper than any of the original, like still, Mark 1 through 7s or whatever that look.
Very different than
still very different from that. Yeah, I mean, he's got standard, five finger hands and stuff like that. He doesn't have pinchers or anything. But his helmet is very different.
Is very different. Definitely these kind of side beams.
Yeah, and he's got
different.
Right. He's got a lot of silver on him. Also, he's got plenty of red and gold, but he's got a lot of silver. And like I said, even though this guy is very bulky, he's very poseable. He's very well articulated. I count at least 70 points of articulation on this guy, of course, including his fingers, but including all fingers, flaps, moving parts, swiveling elbow pads and stuff like that, and the moving shoulder pads, and he's got at least 70 moving points from what I count, and he still poses extremely well. For instance, he's got these newly designed dropping joints on his hips, and that coupled with the sliding plates on his torso or on his cod armor, it really makes for, you can put his legs up in really high poses, which normally would seem like out of the question with armor that was that bulky, but it makes it possible because of the way his hips actually slide in and out, or up and down rather. So he's super posable. He's got, you know, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, swiveling biceps. He doesn't really have rolling shoulders, but he still has universal shoulders, so that's good. He's got a, you know, multi-segmented neck. He's got really good core articulation.
Kind of like
yeah, he's got that same thing where he pops up and down in the center of his body, so he can actually lean forward and back, and he's got that center plate in his abdomen that actually is it sinks. It actually depresses in, so that when he crunches forward, it actually gets pushed in, and it gives him more flexibility in the stomach area. So his articulation is sick, and for a figure this size, his articulation is actually is bananas. It's really good. Yeah, it's really way better articulated than, like, definitely something like the Red Snapper, even though they considered that a power pose. But still, I mean, this is very much as articulated as any of the very lean Iron Mans, you know, the Mark V, stuff like that. This is just as articulated as any of those, so articulation is sweet. But he does have the larger arc reactor, additional areas on the sides of his chest which light up, and of course he's got the head, and he's got the hands that light up, just like all of the rest of the Iron Man's armor suits. Yeah, but I really like what they did with the extra lights on the sides of his chest there. It's something different. And this figure is just sick. What does he got for accessories, Wendy?
He's got some extra hands.
Yeah, he's got, what, the 2 pairs of additional hands, both static, right? One's
repulsor,
right,
ready, and the other's a balled up fist.
Right, and then other than that, it's what, the stand?
The stand, and he has the regular aerial style
gooseneck, which we're not crazy
about. And it
about.
has the same kind of base that we've seen previously that had been lit at one point in time, but on the last few releases they do not have the light up capability on it.
Yeah, we like it. We like the circular base. It's just, they released this base with a couple of figures. We like the base. It looks good. It's just, I don't see why it was released with a figure before and it had an electronic feature, for them to remove the electronic feature. And
why not just,
just
make all of them light up?
Just leave them that way. Yeah, I mean, throw us a gift here and there. I mean, come on, these figures are not cheap, and we're dedicated, man. We're spending some big money on these. Throw us some wires and a couple of LED bulbs for free.
Do we have anything else beyond that?
No, this is pretty much it. This figure is very, very light in the accessories department. Like we said, 2 pairs of static hands. I still, like I've said from the beginning, I would much rather 1 pair of articulated backup hands than a pair of repulsor ready and a pair of balled up fists. I mean, these ball up just fine for me. They might not do repulsor poses very well, but I'd rather have 2 pair of articulated hands, in my opinion. I mean, I don't pose my Iron Man figures like I'm trying to recreate scenes in a movie. I pose them as if they're empty suits standing around my Tony Stark figure. So for me, having them in dynamic poses is not very important, and articulated fingers on the hands is super damn cool. So I'd way rather have the 2 pairs of hands. But yeah, and the stand may be kind of like but it looks good. And
the stand is okay.
The figure itself is a really nice Iron Man figure, so I'm very happy with it. Like I said,
it probably, would have to say it's kind of a refreshing piece.
It is a very refreshing
in the
suit.
Iron Man line.
Yeah,
we've gotten a lot of these suits from the Iron Man 3 movie, which was easily my least favorite Iron Man film.
Right.
There's a lot of cool suits in it, but
there, there's a lot of repainted suits. There's a lot of suits that share parts, which is like, that's cool, but
like
this is from the ground
up, completely unique from any other release of Iron Man.
Right, and I'd rather have more of these and with stands that I'm not crazy about than repaints of costumes with new elaborate stands and pretty boxes, and keep them more going in this direction, and I'm real happy. I like this guy. This guy's really cool. I like him.
He is very
I say I like him much more than the Red Snapper. I don't think Wendy you like the Red Snapper more.
They're similar to me. The Red Snapper was also one that.
That's
was
why I compare
different.
these two. Yeah, that's why I compare this one to the Red Snapper because it seems closest to the Red Snapper.
I like this one better only because it's not power pose and it has all of the dynamic
that makes a
huge
difference.
So just because this is a regular MMS and the other one is a power pose, I'd have to say I probably like this one better.
And there is no comparing the articulation between the two. I mean, this one has some serious dynamics. The Red Snapper is extremely limited in posability.
Still fantastic for a power pose
compared and just
to the Mark 42.
Right, and just the amount of figure you got for the Red Snapper's price tag is a good deal anyway. Real nice.
But overall, I would have to say, even though I kind of like how unique each one of the suits is, I would have to say I probably still like this one better just because it is a full movie masterpiece series.
I agree. This one's bad. This one is pretty cool. This one's nice. And he's real different, so it makes him that much cooler. But I would have to say, absolutely, this guy's the bomb. There's no question about that one. That was pretty easy. I love mechanical characters. I pretty much, compared to the other superhero films like Batman, I love Iron Man. Compared to Batman, Dark Knight, I love Iron Man films. So, and I love Hot Toys, so this was easy. This was a bomb for me. No question.
Definitely Heartbreaker is the bomb in both our opinions. Get him if you can, if you're a serious Iron Man fan, and I guess,
yeah, man.
That's it. Thanks.
He's good. He's good to go. He's ready. He's awesome. He's the bomb, and
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, one more reminder to definitely
get your votes in for the awards show.
Yeah.
In any way you can or would like.
And
thanks
for joining us. Yeah, and as always,
peace.
Peace and love.